Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are working on my E36 328i. Right down there is a leaky water pump, so we're going to replace that today. So here in my truck I have a layout of some of the tools we're going to need. Obviously we have a new water pump. This is the water pump pulley. Have some gasket maker, flathead screwdriver, new belt, and we have the Euro fan clutch removal tool. So if you don't have that, you can use a 32mm open, but all these parts I bought from FCP Euro, and I'll tell you why I like FCP Euro. It's because you have a lifetime warranty on all these products, so if they break for whatever reason, you can purchase a new one and return the old one, and they will reimburse you the difference in the money. And then also I have a 3/8 6-point kit, and then a regular mechanics toolkit, but to my knowledge all you need is really a 10mm and a 6mm for the hoses. And then here I also have my Milwaukee 3/8 gun just in case. So the first step is to use your 6mm here and get off the upper radiator hose, because we're going to get some more room in there to work, and then we're also going to remove the clutch fan next. Now that the upper radiator hose is removed, I have some brake clean on standby just to clean all that stuff out. You can also use a wired brush or toothbrush or some sandpaper just to clean out some of that gunk in there. So now that upper radiator hose is out, we're going to remove the clutch fan with a clutch fan tool. So you can see the fan clutch nut is finally loose, and it's going to take a little bit of force, and especially if you see mine, it's a little bit rusty. So just hold it. You're going to hold it down with this one, and then you're going to use this one up here as such, and crank it over. After a few more turns, you can see fan clutch is now out. Fan clutch is out. We're going to need to put some pressure on the tensioner so we can take off this belt right here. So right there is the pulley tensioner, and it looks like there's a cap on it, so we're going to use this small little flathead here to remove that. So we're successful. You see the cap is off now, so now you're going to put your socket in there and get that belt off. And you're going to use a 16mm for this one. Now you see the tensioner is off. All we did was push it down with the ratchet, and then we removed this hook from the water pump right here. And next we're going to use our 10mm, and we are going to take the water pump off. The water pump pulley is now off. We had a little bit difficulty because every time I tried to take off these bolts, it would actually spin the water pump pulley. So water pump is right there, and what I did was I put the belt back on the tensioner and over the water pump pulley so that there'd be some friction, so when I broke the bolts loose that there wouldn't be any issues. So now we're gonna take, I believe, another 10mm to get off like 1, 2, and then on the other side the same 2 to break out this water pump. So now all the nuts are off, and you're gonna want to basically pull this up and down or side to side until this comes out, and then make sure you don't go too hard so you don't damage your radiator here on the other side. But I've tried to pull on the water pump, but it's not coming out, so I'm gonna use these in combination with a hammer, and I'm gonna try to tap it out by putting leverage against the front of the pump right there. Guys, so here we have the old water pump. You can see right there with that little logo, it's the original BMW one. This is a aftermarket one. Both of these have this metal impeller. For any of the M50 motors, I definitely recommend you upgrade this, because on the OEM ones they're actually plastic, so they're much more prone to break. But if I spin this one here, hopefully you can hear no play, shaft play at all. And then on this one, there's ever so little bit amount of shaft play. So now we're gonna install it. And then another thing we're gonna do is right around here, we're gonna put a little bit of sealant on there just to be safe, so that there's no leaks. All right, so you can see that the water pump is a little bit on, so all we're gonna do is push it in enough, and we're gonna get those screws on there, and then we're gonna do a star pattern so that it seals evenly. Okay, guys, so we finally got our water pump back on. So what's next is we're gonna attach the new pulley, and then from there we can take the tensioner down and then put the belt right back over, and then you should be done after that. Don't forget, because of when you remove your water pump, you're going to lose some of your coolant or water, whatever you decide to use. Make sure you top off again and re-bleed the car. See, the belt is secured. Make sure it's not kinking on anything and it's within those little receivers. Now you're going to tighten the bolts over there back. The thing you want to do is put the clutch fan on and use your 32 or millimeter wrench to tighten her back on. Your clutch fan is back on. Don't forget to put your upper radiator hose back on right there. Hoses are back on and it's all tight. Last thing we're going to do is bleed the system.